Hey there, Gemini. Welcome to your reading for the week of June 30th. Sorry, that deck wasn't cooperating there. We're going to jump right in here. You have this blank, unexpected, and unknown card and this ancient and future energies card. So it's like your future could be unknown at this time, or maybe you feel that way in some ways, which I think everybody does. It's a very hard time. It's very hard to read the future right now. First off, we've had Neptune in Pisces for a very long time. It is currently in Aries, but it will, of course, be retrograding back into Pisces. And this year. But what I would say is Neptune and Pisces is very hard to see the future, in the sense that normally, like when we don't have Neptune and Pisces, it's almost like, if we try to accomplish something, there are little milestones that we reach that kind of tell us that we're moving in the right direction. So with Neptune and Pisces, those milestones are like very far apart. So it's like harder to tell if you're moving in the right direction or not. So like I said, I think a lot of people could be feeling that, and probably have been feeling it for a long time. And, kind of like having a harder time like knowing the future. I don't know that we ever really know the future, but in some ways I think we kind of have this guidance system where that tells us when we are going in the right direction. I think that's been very hard to pick up on. In your first row here for your general energies for the week, you have the Fool, the Judgment card wanting to come out together, the Death card, and the Two of Wands. The Fool is about taking a leap of faith in a new direction. Of course, in the Judgment card can be waking up to a new life. These people are rising up out of these coffins on the Judgment card. The coffin is their old life. Outside the coffin is their new life. And again, they have to take a leap of faith out of those coffins into something new. And so I think it would be an amazing time for you to take a leap of faith in a new direction with these cards, Gemini, especially if you're feeling called or pulled towards something. Now, this could be rather sudden, I feel, for you, Gemini, where it's like all of a sudden you feel pulled in a new direction. Or maybe like all of a sudden you feel like you need to do something new in your life or move in a different direction in your life in some way. So that's definitely popping into my head that, like, again, I'm not trying to be clickbaity or anything, but I do feel it could be a little bit sudden, or, could just happen suddenly that you decide to, kind of move in a new direction. And I feel that, this could be because of like some sort of opportunity that's coming in for you. So it's like you could be presented an opportunity in work or business, but it could be something that pulls you away from what you're doing right now, so it seems to me like there's a big change coming. And I know this is a weekly reading, by the way, but this could be happening over like the next couple months. This might not be something that just happens this week. You have the Death card. Big change, like I just said. And, the King is dead on the Death card, and that's what's popping out at me here. And, the King being dead on the Death card kind of represents the death of establishment. The King is something that has been established in your life for a long time. And the Death card says even kings die. It says even things that we think are going to last forever, sometimes they don't. So, again, a lot of you could be making a big shift in a direction in your life where it's something you thought you would be doing forever, but now you're not. And that's kind of like what's popping into my head. But I don't think this is a bad thing at all, Gemini. I think this is going to be very good for you. I think it could be something that makes you very happy as well. You have the Two of Wands. Two of Wands is about taking the lead. You have two cards. You have the Two of Wands and the Three of Wands. I look at the Two of Wands and Three of Wands as very similar. They both kind of represent taking the lead in some way. So, and especially the Two of Wands, but definitely the Three of Wands as well. So I think you could be taking the lead. It's like you've already built something and now you're ready to build something new. That's the whole point of the Two of Wands, is that he rushed to a finish line. He rushed to build this castle that he's standing on top of. And he has the whole world in his hands. Like, he could easily get out into that world and build something new. So I think a lot of you could you are either building something new or you're getting ready to build something new in your life. And I feel like that would be very good for you with this Two of Wands energy, to like get out there, build new things in your life, build in new directions, all that other good stuff. So I like to see that. I also get travel here, by the way. If you're traveling, I don't know, I think it could be very good for you. So I would definitely say, yes, travel. With the Fool and the Judgment card, you have the Page of Cups. There could be love coming in for some of you. You go down Knight of Swords to the King of Swords. So the Page of Cups can just be like a general admirer, a person who's interested in you. The King of Swords could be like a more older, more mature person that's coming in for you. So this could be like the type of person that you're attracting. Knight of Swords says this could move very quickly, but again, sometimes that's not a bad thing. It can be a bad thing if there's a lack of balance. I always say that, that's what I say, is that as long as things are balanced, really it doesn't matter how quickly it moves, right? As long as both people are fine with it. So there you go. With the Death card, you have the Ace of Pentacles. Ace of Pentacles could be a big opportunity or an offer coming in for you. The Ace of Pentacles can be an opportunity, it's like an opportunity that has potential. We have to plant that seed, that Ace of Pentacles, so that it will grow, So the Ace of Pentacles is about getting something to grow in life, and we have to like water it, feed it, nurture it is what I was going to say, and fertilize it is the word I was looking for. And we have to really take care of the Ace of Pentacles. But again, this, I really feel there's like a sudden opportunity coming in for you, like maybe over the next couple of months, and I feel like you need to prepare for it. Like, yes, this is a weekly reading, I get it, but again, the universe doesn't wear a watch, right? So I feel like this is something that you need to prepare for. It's like a work opportunity, or just an opportunity in life in general that's going to take you in a new direction. With the Two of Wands, you have the Devil. Every single person has had the Devil for July. I've been telling everyone, it's one of those things. Seems to me like it's a collective energy. We do have Mercury retrograde, so past devils definitely can be coming back into our lives. But I've been telling everyone that we really need to be careful of anyone who's toxic, anyone who seems toxic. It doesn't seem like a big deal to me. It just seems like something to pay attention to. If someone seems toxic, they are. Avoid it. If something is stealing your energy, pay attention. Avoid it. Like, we really need to be, paying attention to those things, I think. That, those things that could steal our energy, right? Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this Roots of Abundance card and this Oracle's Gift card. So, clearly, there could be a lot of abundance coming in for you based off of a new opportunity. I think it's time for Gemini to experience like new levels of abundance. So I do feel this is a good thing. The Oracle's Gift card, like I said earlier, I really feel it's almost like your intuition is returning, or something like that. So a lot of you, it could just be a much more intuitive time for you, which I feel is good. You have the Six of Swords, the Knight of Swords, and the Empress. The Six of Swords can represent moving on to calmer shores. So I feel there could be a lot of improvements coming in for you with the Six of Swords. I do feel a lot of you could be just leaving things in the past or cutting things out. And like I said, this Mercury retrograde, even though it's not for like 2 weeks basically from the beginning of the month, it doesn't matter. I think that with retrogrades, of course, we're going to be in the shadow soon enough, and with retrogrades, we can get started working on it right away. And this retrograde seems to be one of those retrogrades where, like I said, we could be removing things or cutting things out that no longer serve us, and I feel that would be a good idea. You have the Knight of Swords. Knight of Swords can be like charging forward towards success, or charging towards something that leads to success in your life. So I feel for a lot of you, this could be something that is creating a lot of success in your life with the Knight of Swords. Knight of Swords can be like quick movement, and so again, I do feel like something's happening quickly here. Again, I'm not trying to be clickbaity, but it does, like, again, it seems like there's like a sudden opportunity for some of you that's coming in for you, where it's like you are going to make a quick move. Like, maybe you're going to quit one job and go get another one, like, very quickly. Although that's not what it feels like to me. What it feels like to me is that you have a job and then you get offered another one, and then the transition could happen very quickly where you just go to the other job. Could be a move. Some of you maybe are moving quickly or something like that. But whatever it is, I feel pretty good about it, actually. Like, normally I'm not the biggest fan of the Knight of Swords because he's making a decision too quickly. He's normally rushing things. But just based off this reading, you have very good cards here. So, again, I think this would be a quick change that is actually good for you and not really bad for you. You have the Empress. The Empress can represent abundance, of course, so there could be a lot of abundance coming in for you with the Empress. I feel a lot of you could be entering into like Empress mode as well with the Empress. The Empress is about ease. The whole point of the Empress is that she can easily get this wheat to grow in front of her, and she does that by waving that scepter that she's holding onto there. And when she waves that scepter, that wheat will grow. So the whole point of the Empress is to focus on keeping things simple. all the 2025 readings basically said something, basically the key word for 2025, and I believe 2026 as well, is going to be simplicity. Doing things a simple way, not overcomplicating things. I think as humans, of course, we have complexity bias. Like, humans naturally think the more complex answer is the answer, but usually it isn't. Usually the simple answer is the answer. So I would keep things simple with the Empress. You could also be very attractive at this time here, Gemini. So if you're trying to attract love, which we do have love, throughout the reading, definitely could be, this says put yourself out there. With the Six of Swords, you have the Nine of Wands. Nine of Wands, I feel like you need to try more things. Nine of Wands, sometimes I feel is a card of, throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks. So sometimes I think we have to, try more things with this card, or we just have to, kind of, do more stuff. And that's kind of what's popping into my head with that card. With the Knight of Swords, you have the Nine of Swords. Do not repeat a cycle with a person right here. Nine of Swords is a never-ending nightmare, and it basically says, no, don't repeat a cycle. Nine of Swords is, it kind of says, how much more painful does something have to get, right? That's why I always say, to me, the Nine of Swords is the worst card in the tarot. It's like, this person's in pain, but they're not in enough pain to make a change. And that is exactly the problem with the card, is that they're not in enough pain to make a change. And they need to be. And they need to make that change. So don't be afraid of making a change. With the Empress, you have the Queen of Swords. Yes, definitely a new person. I'm not the biggest fan of the Queen of Swords and the King of Swords coming up together in a reading, with one exception, and that is when the Queen of Swords comes up before the King of Swords, because normally if they show up like this, for example, he's looking forwards, she's looking towards the future, so they're not looking towards each other. But when they come up like this, she is at least offering him something, right? And it doesn't have to be a him. It could be whatever gender you're into, don't care. But again, it's at least I feel whatever the situation is, it's one person does see the other person. I think that there will be an offer made here, Gemini, so that looks pretty good to me. Next, in the area of messages from your future self, you have this gratitude card and the soul card. I think it's an amazing time to express gratitude. I think it's an amazing time to be grateful. One thing about Mercury retrogrades is we can actually manifest things very quickly during Mercury retrograde. So, I think it could be an amazing time to practice manifestation the whole month. And yes, I know this is a weekly reading, but I feel like this is for the whole month. So take it how it resonates. I think these are things that you're going to be dealing with forever, for the whole month. So, again, I think manifestation is a good idea. You have the Three of Wands, the Knight of Pentacles, and the King of Swords. The Three of Wands can be a card of expansion and growth. I feel that it would be an amazing time for you to kind of get out into the world. He needs to get on these boats and go on an adventure. Those boats are pointing out of the harbor here on the card. And so they're going in a new direction, and he doesn't really know where they're going. So, the whole point of the card is that he has to go move towards something where he doesn't really know where things are going, but he needs to find out anyway. It's also a card of expansion. Like I've been saying, you just had Jupiter in your sign. Jupiter has left your sign. Now is the time where you can really expand and take what you learned over the past 18 months and implement it in your life so that you can expand. And I definitely would be. You have the Knight of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles is straightforward, diligent work is kind of what I'm feeling here. That's not really what it represents, but that's kind of what I'm getting. I do feel pretty good about this Knight as well in your reading. Normally, I'm also not the biggest fan of the Knight of Pentacles because he can represent no movement. But for whatever reason, I feel pretty good in your reading. I do feel like you are making movements forwards. I feel it's I don't know, I feel pretty good about it. I feel like you are doing the right things. I feel like you are doing what you need to do to make progress in your life and to move forward. So, really, I have nothing to add. I feel like you are just making progress. Next, you have the King of Swords. Now, I kind of feel two things here. Number one, I feel this could be a person, and it could just be a very mature, hardworking person with a lot of knowledge and wisdom. Could be any sign. Could be another air sign, but you also have fire. You have Scorpio, Capricorn showing up here. You have all these, you basically have all signs. So, could be any sign that's coming in for you, Gemini, but it would probably be someone older with a lot of knowledge and wisdom. The King of Swords, I also feel could be your energy, Gemini. I feel like you are the one that could be maturing here in life, and you could be using your knowledge and wisdom, meaning the things that you've learned, in a bigger and better way. And, I think this is going to be very good for you. I think it's going to lead to a lot of growth and expansion, if you are using your knowledge and wisdom. With the Three of Wands, you have the Knight of Swords. Yes, very quick change. Of course, again, whatever this opportunity is here, it's probably something you've never done before because of that Three of Wands. Again, on the Three of Wands, the whole point of the card is that the guy on the Three of Wands has to step into the unknown. Those boats are going somewhere he has no experience with. He has no freaking clue where those boats are going. And it's a completely new adventure. But it just seems to me like this is something that you are doing suddenly, And again, I'm not trying to be clickbaity, like I said. I just feel like you're doing something quickly, like you're making a very quick about-face change in your life. But I feel like it's good. With the Knight of Pentacles, you have the Five of Cups, gratitude, right? You have this card that says gratitude on it. The solution to the Five of Cups is gratitude. He's grieving the loss of something that he no longer enjoys, but when he turns around, he has these two cups which lead to this bridge in the castle. So the whole point of the card is that he needs to be grateful for what he has, and then he will get this bridge in this castle. And that's the whole point of the card, is to practice gratitude and to be grateful for what you have. And when you do that, you find a lot more success. So, again, I think being grateful for these two cups will lead to this bridge in this castle on the card. With the King of Swords, you have the Six of Swords. Yeah, moving on to calmer shores. You have the Six of Swords twice, so improvements. This could also be you making mature decisions as well, is what's popping into my head. So a lot of you, it's like if you are deciding to move away from things, I think these could be mature decisions that you're making. The other thing I'm getting here is that this could be like a person. It's like, I don't know. It's like sometimes I do feel we meet people who change us, but in a good way. It's like, again, don't take that the wrong way. Sometimes I think people say, I don't want to change or I don't need to change. It's like, no, it's not like a bad thing. It's like a good thing. It's like sometimes we meet a person where, by being with them, we just want to level up, right? And that's kind of what's popping into my head for you here, Gemini, is that you could literally be meeting a person who kind of like triggers you in a good way, who triggers you to improve, who triggers you to grow. I also kind of feel a little bit of more like of excitement. Like if you've been feeling dull or, if you've been feeling like you just don't know what to do with your life, or if you've been lacking that kind of excitement for life, I do feel you could be meeting a person who really kind of brings a lot of excitement back into your life, which obviously that would be good. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have a Scorpio card. It says the Underworld. It says, awaken your inner witch to maximize your potential and connect to the universal energies. You have this Entanglement card. It says, if you realize that you are in an entanglement, it may be time to move on or take a break. Devil. So if you're in some sort of weird entanglement, I would definitely walk away. The Scorpio card is very interesting because I think that for the rest of the year that we all should be like detectives. And I say that I think because I actually don't know, if I'm being honest with you. But it's like more, it's not so much like an intuitive message that I've been getting, but it's more of like a hunch, which I mean, I guess you could say is intuitive, but it just seems to me like the people who like take the time to look into things that they're interested in, be a detective, learn about it, get interested and learn about things. It's like those people seem to be the ones that will be getting the more opportunities in the future. So I would really be looking, plain and simple. You have the Temperance card, the Six of Cups, and the Nine of Cups. Temperance, of course, is patience. But I think you have been patient for a very long time. And he has two cups. We have these two cups on the Five of Cups as well, so which is good. We go from the Five of Cups with these two cups to the angel mixing together the two cups. So it's almost like you are working with what you got, is what I have popping into my head here, Gemini. And I feel like this is going to lead to a lot of success. There's a book called The Power of Broke by Damon John. And I think that would be a good book, like not from necessarily a money-making perspective, but I feel like that's how we all should be thinking right now, is with resourcefulness in mind, right? As if, and again, this is a very broad statement, but it's not just about money. I think we all need to look at all areas of our lives, and we need to see like, how can we get success without necessarily using a bunch of resources, right? And that's what I would be thinking of with that card. You have the Six of Cups. Six of Cups can be like a gift from the universe. Six of Cups can be a turnaround. That's usually the gift we receive from the card, is that usually we've been bumping up against an obstacle. We get this card, and it kind of represents the removal of obstacles. Of course, it can also represent a soulmate. So if you are looking for love, there could be like some sort of soulmate coming in for you with the Six of Cups. I personally do not read this as a person from the past. I know everyone and their mother does, but that's really not what it represents. I feel like that's something that like years ago someone said on YouTube and now everybody says it. That's not really what it represents. It's a card of innocence and nostalgia. It can represent thinking about the past, but it doesn't represent anyone coming back from the past. Rant over. But what I would say is I think that this is a new person. And it can represent a soulmate and a new soulmate. You have the Nine of Cups. Nine of Cups is like fulfillment or wish fulfillment coming in for you. I always say that we have to like match the energy of what we want to get it with the Nine of Cups. But when it does come up in the good stuff, I do feel this definitely could be a wish. So there definitely could be some sort of wish that's being fulfilled with that card. With the Temperance card, you have the Moon card. I actually feel this is clarity coming in for you, which is good. We kind of talked about this at the beginning of the reading because you have this blank card. It says unexpected unknown. But I was kind of saying that I feel there is more clarity coming in for you, and I definitely feel that's true. I feel a lot of you could be either experiencing more clarity or getting more clarity in your life. There could be like more growth coming in for you as well because of this clarity, as in, sometimes I think when we know what's actually working and we double down on that, then obviously things can work better and things can grow, right? Which is good. With the Six of Cups, you have the Fool. I really do feel like you are taking some sort of quick leap of faith or sudden leap of faith here. It could be towards a person for some of you, or it's like maybe you're like, sure, I'll give this person a shot, and then you fall in love, right? It just feels like something is happening quickly here, Gemini, in your life. But it's like because of a decision that you're making. That's why, something is happening quickly. And, that's what I feel. I feel like it's good, though. With the Nine of Cups, you have the Magician, which is great. The Magician says you can have whatever you want. It's a card of manifestation and a card of, using your powers of manifestation to get what you want. So I definitely feel that you could be manifesting things very quickly. I always pull the card he's pointing to, which we're going to say is this one. It says the Royal You. There you go. This is my glow-up card, and you have the Empress. Now, for me to say a reading is a glow-up reading, I need the Empress, the Sun, and the Star, all three cards. And so, again, we only have the Empress, but, some of you definitely could be getting a lot of attention, or you could be standing out in a big way here, which obviously would be good. You have this Wishbone card that says Wish Granted on it. We see a lot of good wish cards here. Magician, Nine of Cups together is very good for getting something that you wish for. It might be a good time for you to make a wish. Like maybe you need to ask the universe for what you want. Sometimes I feel that with the Judgment card. Really, the Four of Swords is my card of asking the universe for something, but the Judgment card is very similar in some ways. So I think that asking for what you want would be a good idea. You have this Rabbit. It says too much concern with sexual matters. Yes, Devil. I think there is something about this month. I don't know what it is really, but in the July readings, everybody had the Devil. In this first week of July readings, everybody's had the Devil. So I would be careful of any devil energies. If it walks like a duck, if it quacks like a duck, it's a duck, right? So I would definitely pay attention. You have this candle. It says you will be shown the way. I really feel that's the whole gist of the reading. We were kind of talking about Neptune, how Neptune can kind of make it seem like we don't really know where we're going and things like that. Then you end with the Moon. You have the Three of Wands, the Fool, the Judgment card. These are all answer cards that really say you will know the way. So there you go, Gemini. I mean, in a lot of ways, it's like you could finally be getting the answers you've been looking for on like what direction to go in, or like what to do in your life, or where to go, or where to be. And, I think that's good. You have this Barrel card. It says you feel something is lacking in your life, perhaps love, money, or goals. So yes, whatever it is, I would fill in that gap, right? It's like we are in a time of balance. And so if you feel like something is lacking, I would go do things to get it so that you can fill in that gap, whatever it is. And you don't have to have the exact thing that you want. Like if you want love, for example, you can practice self-love. You can go love nature. You can go love a dog. You can go love a cat, right? If you want money, you can just go be around wealth or things that make you feel abundant, which is, that's something different for everyone. So, the more you do those things, the more you will attract that energy and you will get what you've been missing. And that's what I would pay attention to here. Next, you have this Carrot card. Here you go. It says opportunity or windfall. I'm telling you right now, there's like an opportunity that is going to like suddenly change the direction of your life. And I'm not trying to be clickbaity or whatever, and I'm not saying it's going to be easy either. I feel like I shouldn't have to explain these things, but I do. So sorry for the smart people out there, but the Ace of Pentacles, this could just be like a random thing where it's like maybe you already have a job and maybe you've never thought of leaving it, but maybe you get an opportunity somewhere else all of a sudden. And those are the things I'd be looking for. This could also be in business as well. It's like some of you could have like sudden, just random ideas. Now, there is like a lot of astrology that I think could be causing this, like, Neptune and Saturn and Aries. Neptune and Saturn and Aries are initiators. They initiate things. Aries is the initiator. So it's like we all could be being initiated to start something new. So it makes perfect sense. But this looks really good here, Gemini. I like it. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your week.